All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from the Lady in Black, Darlington. Cale Spicer, Bradley James on the front row, Patrick Pieper and Vic Browner on the second row. Greg Well and Edmund Jones on the third row, Tyler Ott, Clay Kirchenbauer on the fourth, Jacob Morgan and Richard Cragen round out the top 10. Adam Rubel starting at 11 next to Joe Lux in 12th. Andy Wilkinson in 13th. Andy Kirchenbauer in 14th. Brian Hewitt, Eric Wolkowiak 15th and 16th. Zach Mean in 17th. Jeremy Queener in 18th. Kirk Marble and Colby Whipple round out the top 20. Colton Johansson starting at 21st next to Jason Leonard in 22nd. Ryan McDaniel in 23rd. Cody Burke in 24th. Austin Ruskoff, Jay Briette, Mark Dantuma, David Lux, Shane Hoffman, and Gary Wright round out the top 30. Brian Foster starts in 31st. All right, pace car starts rolling. Remember, the driver said it feels like ice out on track tonight. The car definitely not down in the track. Definitely no grip. What in the world? Okay, Austin Ruskoff did not grid. Does not look like Brian Foster is going to. And David Lux, who was having connection problems, seems to have a problem back behind. They have delayed the green. Should see the lights go out and the field stack back up here in just a moment. If the lights go out, they stack up. And we'll get the green flag next time by. The drivers definitely have their hands full tonight. These cars don't take a lot of damage, and even a slight kiss to the wall could mess up the handling dramatically. And you know every one of them will walk away with a Darlington stripe before the end of the night. All right, here we go. Pace car dives in. Out of turn 4, here they come. The green flag flies. They are underway at Darlington. Down into 1 and 2. Everybody side by side. Everybody on cold tires. The already sketchy handling of the cars tonight are going to be worse on cold tires. And if we have green flag stops tonight, things could get ugly. And Bradley James will lead lap 1. Vic Brown now to second. Pole sitter Cale Spicer has slipped back to third. Everybody quickly going to single file to pick them off one by one. This is a track you definitely want to make the pass as quickly as possible and get back single file. And it looks like Joe Lux is dropping back. Looks like coming off turn 4, something went wrong. He has dropped low, but he has recovered. This is a track where the drivers are not racing each other. They are racing the track and trying to hold on to the tires as long as possible. Indy Kirchenbauer, no practice, already up 4 spots into 10th. The kid is on the march. Kirk Marble also on the move up 5 spots into 14th. Cody Burke 4 spots into 20th after his qualifying failure. And Shane Hoffman has had a problem behind. No caution. Likely to see quite a bit of that. Drivers have a problem, but no caution coming out. If they can clear the racing surface down by the wall quickly enough, see if we can see what happened with Shane. There's Shane on the, oh! I'm not sure if he had help on that. All right, looking down from the chopper, it does appear he gets a bump to the left rear. Joe Lux threads the needle. Shane gives the wall a bit of a kiss. And the caution is out for the first time tonight. Patrick Pieper, Edmund Jones, Richard Cragen, and Clay Kirchenbauer all involved. Let's see what happened. All right, looks like this started with Patrick Pieper. Looks like Patrick was in the wall as soon as he came off, slid down into Edmund, and ouch. Clay Kirchenbauer, Richard Cragen had nowhere to go, and Pieper ends up upside down. Great wreck avoidance by everybody back behind. See if we can take a look down from the chopper at this. There you see Pieper comes down, bumps into Edmund, tried to save it. Clay was right there. Cragen slams in. I believe that was Indy Kirchenbauer also catching a piece. A bumpy start that's going to send several cars to pit road for repairs. About half the field is in, some for repairs, some for fuel. And it looks like several taking on tires. Hey, good evening, Mark. Thank you for the stars. That caution up toward the front did shake up a bit of the field. Cale Spicer back in the lead. Greg Wellen in second. Jacob Morgan third. Brian Ewan in fourth. Kirk Marble now up into fifth. Eric Wolkowiak, Jeremy Queener, Zach Mead, Ryan McDaniel, Jason Leonard round out the top 10. Cody Burke in 11th is the first car that went to pit road. Looks like Burke and several others took fuel only. But about 2/3 of the guys that went in this time all took on 4 tires. The drivers are looking at 45 to 48 laps on a tank of fuel. Although I seriously doubt we see any major fuel conservation tonight. These drivers are going to be trying to save the tires as best they can and stay out of trouble. As the pace car ducks in, Cale Spicer in control on the restart. And the green flag flies again as several cars just getting called back up to the field. Everybody making it through 1 and 2 is Edmund Jones, Shane Hoffman, both coming back out on track into the mix. Cale Spicer holds on. He will lead a lap. Greg Wellen in second, Jacob Morgan in third, Brian Hewitt now in fourth. Eric Wolkowiak is taking fifth. Kirk still holds on in sixth. You have to wonder with the mix of tires and no tires and those that didn't come in under that caution late in this run could shake things up. Vic Brown, Bradley James at the moment, the highest running car that took on tires, currently in 10th. Whoa, we've got a slow car in the middle of the turn. Looked like Ryan McDaniel had a bobble mid-turn. Bradley James slipped by. Looked like Ryan got a bit loose. Got it gathered up, but lost about 4 spots. And Pieper has had a problem. The caution is back out. Patrick Pieper had repaired and got back out on track, but he is in trouble again. Let's back this up again just a little bit. There's Patrick up on the high side. Oh, he smacks the wall hard. Wow, a close call for David Lux, who was blinking badly. And I believe it was Richard Cragen that caught a piece. Then Cragen is headed into pit road. Andy Kirchner back up into 11th. Mark Dantuma in 12th. Ryan McDaniel in 13th. Colby Whipple in 14th. Andy Wilkinson now up into 15th. Points leader Clay Kirchner back in 16th. And the Dominator in 21st. Cale Spicer, one of the newer drivers who's been on fire every race. The 5 races he has been in so far this season, he's won 3 of them. He's had 5 top 5s. In addition to, 4 wins for Cale so far. I'd say Cale is doing okay. He's 11th in points just due to having missed several races. But he's closing that gap very quickly. About 8 points behind Richard Cragen. 11 points behind Bradley James, and not far behind the rest of the field. In fact, the biggest gap in the points right now is between first place Clay Kirchenbauer and second place Cody Burke, 125 points. Richard Cragen's car still tore up. Looks like he was holding low. Cale Spicer, Greg Welland together on the front stretch, on the front row. And here they come into the zone, and the green flag flies. They are back underway. Richard Cragen's going to duck low to let the field clear. Cale shoots away like a bullet. And now Jacob Morgan up into third as Brian Hewitt on his bumper. Hewitt gets a good run out of the turn, couldn't make the move. And that opened the door for Kirk Marble. Kirk slides up and takes fourth. Don't look now. Here comes Bob Ross and Eric Walkowiak. Whoa, Jacob way loose out of the turn. Manages to hold Kirk off for the moment. And a little bit of action back behind as Vic Brown peeks underneath Jeremy Queener. That's the battle for ninth, and Indy Kirchenbauer back up in the fight as well. And they are fighting them out of the turns. Remember, the only laps Indy got were in qualifying. Colby Whipple, Ryan McDaniel now battling for 14th. Ryan pulls ahead, Colby up to the high side. Now it's Andy Wilkinson peeking underneath. Oh, Andy slams the wall. And the Dominator just shot the gap. Wow. Cale Spicer up front, Greg Welland in second. Kirk Marble now into third. Closing in on the top two, while Kowiak and Morgan still battling for fourth and fifth. And they are battling inches apart. Jacob backing off a little bit. Bradley James now in sixth, trying to close back up. Vic Brown in seventh, Brian Hewitt in eighth. And Indy the Kid takes eighth. Hewitt ninth, now Queener in 10th. Hewitt starting to fade just a little bit. Bradley James, one of the drivers on fresh tires. You can definitely tell he is closing the gap quickly. Riding on board with Bradley James, he crosses the start-finish line. Ducks underneath Jacob Morgan. Now sets his sights on Eric Wilkowiak and Bob Ross. out of turn 2, and you can hear those tires screaming, despite the fact he has some of the freshest tires. Oh, holy cow! Wacoax smacks the wall, keeps her going. Cale Spicer out front, unable to pull away because Kirk Marble is now in second and closing. Kirk has not had a full season. This season hasn't been here every week, but when he has, he's always up in contention. Bradley James is side by side with Walt Kowiak and Bob Ross. Oh, Walt Kowiak smacks the... Holy cow, Jacob got loose. And the caution is out for Jacob Morgan. That was one heck of a hit. And I suspect several more drivers, including Edmund Jones, are caught up. All right, there's Jacob. Slams the wall coming out of the turn. Hard into the inside. He's hard on the brakes. Indy barely sneaks by. And most of the field manages to get by, but holy cow, what a hit from Edmund. Taking a look down from the chopper at this one. There's the bounce off the turn 2 wall into the inside wall, back to the outside. He tries to limp it back low. Edmund Jones just couldn't get moved quickly enough. Man, what a hit. And this time, Greg Wellen, the only driver staying out. Everybody else is in. Cale Spicer out front. Whoa, what was that? Must have been a glitch. Looking at the time, Cale is taking 4 tires. But Bradley James on the way out early. And it looks like Cale may be having an issue. He is still on pit road. Now he's rolling out. But man, did he lose some ground. Cale slips from 1st to 18th. Greg Wellen has the lead now, but everybody behind has at least 2 tires. And it looks like Ryan McDaniel, who took 2 tires, well, maybe not. Waited to see how this shakes out. But Ryan, the only driver to take 2 tires, picks up a ton of track position. He's now in 3rd. Meanwhile, Bradley James in 2nd, Greg Wellen in 1st. And this seems like a good time to get a little bit loud. So when the green flag drops, grab that volume knob and crank it all the way up. All right, here we go. Pace car dives in. And the green flag flies. Crank it up, y'all. What a beautiful sound here at Darlington. A repeat of what we saw at Kansas, at least for the moment. Andy the Kid Kirchenbauer looks under his dad, Clay Kirchenbauer. That is the battle for sixth. Meanwhile, back behind, there's a bit of a battle going on. Tyler Ott in 13th, and everybody right there in that group back behind, still side-by-side battling it out. Patrick Pieper is back in the fight, trying to get back toward the front. Pieper currently in 27th, a lap down. He got a bit of a love tap. Does manage to keep it out of the wall, but man, he lost some ground on that. Meanwhile, all that battling behind gave 13th place Tyler on an opportunity to pull away. Now he's closing in on 12th. Oh boy! Adam Rubel and holy cow! Got one in the wall. Mark Dantuma's around. The caution is out. Looked like there was a bit of bumping going on there. See if we can see what happened. All right, here they come down the back straightaway. Mark Dantuma clears everybody. I think he got a bump going in. He gets up into the wall and gets another bump. Let's see if we can dial up the chopper and take a look. Dantuma obviously has a big run coming out of two, shoots underneath Ryan. Ryan gets a big run into turn 3, but that run ends up in Mark's back bumper. And Bradley James will now assume the lead. As several drivers go into pit road. And it's worth noting, Greg Wellen in third place still has not been to pit road. We're noting Cody the Dominator Burke down 16 spots into 8th. Eric Walkowiak up 11 spots into 5th. Indy Kirchenbauer up 8 spots into 6th. Gary Wright, at the moment, the biggest mover, up 19 spots into 11th. Gary, another driver that has been doing really well in recent weeks. It does say zip car on the back. It may make it extra zippy. All right, everybody stacks up for the restart. Here they come, through 3 and 4, pace car dives in. They hit the restart zone, the green flag flies again. Bradley James away quickly. Greg Welland taking advantage of being on the bottom, follows the leader back up into second. Kirk still holding on to third, but look, Vic Graham now back up into fourth. And Indy the Kid up into fifth. Eric Wilkowiak in sixth, Cody Burke in seventh, Clay Kirchner in eighth, as we've got a battle between Adam Rubel and Brian Hewitt for ninth and 10th. And despite that damage on his car, Tyler Ott just took 10th. Moving Hewitt back into 11th and continuing to move forward for him as well. Gary Wright currently in 12th of 18 spots. Cale Spicer, who has led quite a bit of this race so far, after that problematic pit stop, is back in 15th. He did come in again under that last caution. Looks like took 4 tires and is making them work as he marches forward. And Kirk Marble now into second. And Kirk is on maximum attack tonight. Zach Mead has had a problem. Looks like several cars have had a problem behind. We'll take a look here in a moment. There it is. Austin Ruskoff and Zach Mead have both towed in. And it looks like several cars caught up. Let's take a look. All right, looking at Zach Mead. Coming down the back straightaway. Looks like there's a car in the wall up ahead. Zach is loose coming out of 4. Smacks, holy cow. Richard Cragen catches it as well. Jason Leonard also involved. Let's take a look at Austin Ruskoff. He caught a piece of this as well. There you see him spin back up. Oh, he gets clipped. And let's take a look down from the chopper. All right, there's Mead coming down the back straightaway. Into turn 3 down low, just kisses the wall. Gets loose coming off. We've seen that a bunch tonight. Slams that inside wall, goes airborne. while Cragen and several others get caught up. Ouch. Mark Dantuma looks like he may have caught a piece of it we didn't see. I thought Dantuma was ahead of it. In fact, he was. He heads off into 1 and 2, back behind Pieper. Oh, Pieper and Ryan get together in the middle of 1 and 2. And Ryan comes off the wall right into Mark. Well, they don't call Darlington the Lady in Black for nothing. And 2 incidents in 1 lap. All right, Bradley James, Kirk Marble on the front row as we get ready for the restart. Pace car dives in. Bradley James in control. And Indy the Kid Kirchenbauer now up into 3rd as the green flag flies again. Bradley clears into turn 1. Kirk holding on to 2nd. Not for long. Kirk sends it deep. Whoa, that got spicy coming out of turn 2. And look at this, Indy taking advantage. Cody Burke's going to follow him through. Kirk fighting back, though, up top. And Cody Burke manages to slip by Indy and takes 3rd. Gary Wright now 20 spots into 10th. As he continues to march forward. Whoa! While Kowiak got big loose out of 2. Managed to save it, keep it out of the wall. Whipple appears to have gotten the wall. He just lost 2 spots. Colby still at 6 spots rather, into 14. Colby came in tonight 4th in points. He has been having a spectacular season. In fact, as our fearless leader, Colby Whipple, was talking last week after the race about the possibility of C12 continuing with the 87s in seasons to come. I definitely would agree with that. Indy Kirchenbauer's had a problem. He was slipping back. Looks like loose out of 2. He does get it gathered up down the backstretch. But he's about to lose another spot as Tyler Ott goes by up top. Cody Burke looking underneath, takes 2nd from Kirk. And Cale Spicer is on the move, up 4 spots. Or I'm sorry, up to 5th now. After starting on the pole, Cale lost a lot of ground due to potentially a glitch on his pit stop. And Cale has fought his way back. Points leader Clay Kirchenbauer currently sitting in 5th. And Adam Rubel now quietly making his way up to 6th. Another one on the move quietly tonight, Jade Briette. Jade already up 10 spots into 16th. And Shane Hoffman, who was involved in that very early incident, Shane already up 12 spots into 17th. Several drivers really making their way forward, including the Dominator, who is right on Bradley James' back bumper. Cody has not led a lap yet here tonight, nor has points leader Clay Kirchenbauer. Cody needs to make up as many points as possible here tonight. But Clay continues to run consistently, currently running in 5th. Gary Wright has lost a couple positions, slipping back into 12th as Vic Brown tries to fight his way back to the top 5. Wow, Andy Wilkinson, a big move out of turn 2 under Indy. Vic able to capitalize on it as well, slips by Indy and takes 10th. Nope, not yet. Indy's fighting back up top. Ryan McDaniel has had a problem back behind. Does not appear. We're going to see a caution. Let's see if we can see what happened. Alright, there's Ryan coming out of turn 4. Jason Leonard right behind. Ryan goes off into turn 1. Ryan does have some damage, looks like, on the back. Alright, there's Ryan as he heads off into turn 3. Pushes up the track, snaps loose, kisses the wall. Jason almost slips by underneath. But man, he gets the worst of it. That car is hurt. Meanwhile, the Dominator has taken the lead for the first time tonight. Bradley James in 2nd, Kirk still in 3rd, Cale Spicer back up into 4th. And the top 6 have tightened up. The top 6, all within 1 1/4 seconds at the moment. Cody Burke trying to open up a gap. Kirk starting to peek underneath Bradley James. Adam Rubel back in 7th. Adam about Sorry, Greg Welland in 6th, about 4.9 seconds behind that top 5 battle. With Adam Rubel about half a second back, Vic Brown, Tyler Ott all right there. Andy Wilkinson in 10th and Gary Wright in 11th closing as well. Hey, good evening, David. How are you tonight? Kirk and Bradley battling for second. Definitely helps the leader. But Cale able to follow Bradley through. No, Kirk in it. Oh, Kirk kisses the wall. Cale's going to get underneath. Kirk kissed the wall a lot there. Cale gets underneath. Played right on the bumper. And they are fighting tooth and nail back here. All of them wanting to move up and catch up to the leader. That allowed Bradley James to pull away just a little bit. Cale now in 3rd, Clay in 4th. Oh, did Indy pull off the win earlier? While all this battling is going on behind, the Dominator is pulled out to a 1.5 second lead over Bradley. Cale Spicer now in 3rd, Clay in 4th. Kirk kissed the wall a little too much. He is losing some ground here. Vic Brown now in 6th is closing on Kirk. Greg Welland in 7th. Surprisingly, Greg seems to be losing ground. Adam Rubel in 8th. Tyler Ott in 9th. And now Gary Wright back up into 10th. Jeremy Queener right there on his bumper in 11th. Eric Wilkowiak in 12th. Colby Whipple back up into 13th, but battling with Jake Briette and Andy Wilkinson. Andy Kirchhammer slips back into 16th. Shane slips underneath. Joe Locks in 18th. Colton Johansson in 19th. Jacob Morgan in 20th. The Dominator's lead continues to grow. Kirk Marble has now slipped 2.5 seconds behind Clay. As Patrick Pieper has had another problem, no caution yet. Pieper has made it to pit road. Well, it looks like Pieper was down low on the backstretch. Oh, he was headed toward pit road, but overcooked it. He did manage to get it in. Meanwhile, the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th heating up again. Cale Spicer slips underneath, takes second. Bradley James slips back to third. Clay Kirchenmeyer still right there in fourth. And most of these drivers are starting to think about pit stops. Driver said about 45 to 48 laps on a tank of fuel. Most of them were in either on lap 25 or lap 32 under one of those cautions. But we're likely to see green flag stops starting just in the next 5 laps or so. Likely Patrick Pieper was headed in to try a short pit strategy when he overshot it. Jeremy Queener slips up into 10th, slips by Tyler Ott. Gary Wright now in 9th, and he is closing in on Greg Welland. Greg must have some sort of problem. He is usually battling in the top 5, if not the top 3. But he continues to slip backwards. Jason Leonard, one of the rookies this season, now up into 21st. And is the next car. The Dominator is going to lap as Greg Welland comes in. Looks like whatever was wrong with Greg's car, he wants it taken care of now. And it looks like Jason Leonard has had a problem. Andy Kirchenbauer also in. All right, there's Jason. You can see he was loose into the turn. Tries to get it gathered up. Does keep it out of harm's way. Does lose a lot of momentum. Meanwhile, Cody Burt continues to open up his lead. Now 3.7 seconds over Cale Spicer. Bradley James still in third. Clay holds on in fourth. Kirk Marble in fifth. Now has Vic Brown in sixth on his bumper. Adam Rubel in seventh. Gary Wright, Jeremy Queener battle for eighth. Queener, another one who's just quietly marching his way up through the field tonight. Tyler Ott still holding on to 10th. Eric Walkowiak and Bob Ross currently in 11th. Jade Briette in 12th is closing in. Shane Hoffman, another one, caught up in that early incident. But he is now up 16 spots into 13th. He is having quite a charge. Colby Whipple is on pit road for his stop now. And looking at the numbers, this next stop, this green flag stop could be the last stop for pretty much everybody. Everybody is within the fuel window. Jeremy Queener has just ducked in. So the final stop will be under green flag. And it is underway. Kirk Marble now in. Meanwhile, the leaders are now into lap traffic. And it's going to get worse, as you can see. Traffic almost everywhere on track now, and it's only going to get worse with these green flag stops. And points leader Clay Kirchenbauer gives up fifth. He is in. Gary Wright, Tyler Ott also coming in. Oh, and a bit of a battle brewing as the leader tries to come by. Bradley James has given up third. He is on his way in. Eric Walkowiak, Gary Wright, Joe Lux, and Jacob Morgan now in. And the leader is coming in. Cale Spicer in second, also headed in. Vic Brown is going to stay out, see if he can lead a lap. And he does get counted as the leader that time by. And it looks like Jason Leonard may be out of the race with the blown engine. Adam Rubel in second, Jade Briette now in third. Pit stops underway. Adam Rubel now coming in. It is worth noting, over the course of this run, the drivers have, with all the tire wear, the drivers about 2 seconds a lap slower than their fastest laps. As Vic Brown heads in. Jay Briette pointing his car toward pit road. Cody Burke now back out on track. Clay Kirchenbauer about 8 1/4 seconds behind him. As Shane Hoffman goes to the lead for the first time tonight. You know he is going to be happy, even leading just 1 lap. After qualifying in 29th, starting to move up early in the race. Getting caught up in an early incident. Dropping to the back, fighting his way back. Just picking up points for leading a lap will be a huge accomplishment for him tonight. Colton Johansson is ducking in for his stop. Jade Briette on his way out. Shane had better think about getting to pit road soon he is losing a lot of ground on those old tires. As Cody Burke, now in second, has an 8.5 second gap on Clay Kirchenbauer. Bradley James currently in fourth, Cale Spicer in fifth. Vic Brown in sixth, Greg Well in seventh, Kirk Marble eighth, Jeremy Queener in ninth, and Adam Rubel in 10th, and Shane Altman has come in as the Dominator reclaims the lead. Meanwhile, that group from second on back somehow managed to all end up together again. Clay Kirchenbauer, Bradley James, Cale Spicer, all right there together. With a new friend coming, Vic Brown a second back in closing. Kirk Marble back in sixth, now as Greg Wellen in seventh closing in. Adam Rubel in eighth, about 12.5 seconds back. He is closing and bringing Jeremy Queener with him. And Tyler Ott. Clay Kirchenbauer came into tonight with a 125-point lead. Cody Burke up front leading. He'll gain a little ground. Clay Kirchenbauer has not led a lap tonight, but if he can hold on to second to the end of this thing, he'll minimize the points loss here tonight. Bradley James tried to make the pass on Clay, couldn't get it done, slid up the track. Cale Spicer now to third. And that is bringing Vic closer as there's debris on the track. And the debris is off Jeremy Queener's car. All right, there's Jeremy off into three, smacks the wall. And as we have seen so many times tonight, hits the wall, gets loose, goes down to the inside wall, and man, what a hit. Tyler Ott ran over that debris. Let's hope he doesn't get a flat. Jeremy is on pit road, but man, what a heartbreak after he had a top 10 run going. Jason. The Dominator now has a 9-second lead over Cale Spicer, but lap traffic is going to be the issue the remainder of this one. There you see, after that round of green flag stops, a lot of cars clumped together, several spots on track. As time goes on, they'll continue to spread out. The leaders will have no safe place on track. Oh, Well, Jason, don't worry. Here in a few weeks, it's going to get even better, buddy. Folks, make sure you're following on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and the YouTubes. We have a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the near future you're not going to want to miss out on. Plus, YouTube Shorts are coming back very soon. And if you're close to Enid, Oklahoma this Saturday, make sure you go to the Monster Truck and Tough Truck competition. Go look for the handsome announcer guy. He might even have a unicorn beside him. "23 laps to go for Cody Burke, his lead 8.6 seconds. Cale Spicer has pulled away from Bradley James and Clay Kirchenbauer. Vic Brown still right there within striking distance. Jason, are you going to the Monster Truck event? Right now, it looks like with this long green flag run, only 8 cars left on the lead lap. And Adam Rubel, who's currently in 8th, is the next car to go a lap down. Well, Jason, don't worry. If you make it to Tulsa quite often, hopefully, we're working on deals to find some more announcing gigs, and hopefully we'll get out there for that. Honestly, we're still hoping Arrowhead Speedway in West Siloam Springs, Oklahoma will hire us to come call a few races, considering I'm within spitting distance. Hey, good evening, Count. Going pretty good, Count. Jason, I'm definitely going to get with you about music in the next few weeks, buddy. "18 laps to go. It has been a while since we saw the caution. Despite having 5 cautions early on, it has gone green flag for a while, which has put us with only 8 cars on the lead lap. And everybody can go the distance from here on fuel. But as the run goes on, the grip goes away. And we have seen a lot of cars lose it coming out of turn 2. smack that inside wall, come back up on track and cause chaos. It is Darlington, the track too tough to tame. Anything can go wrong at any moment. Patrick Pieper is ready to leave Darlington. Patrick did not have a good race tonight. I'm just glad he's out of the infield care center and okay. He did take a few very hard licks early on. If you missed any of the early incidents, you can find them on our YouTube channel in 4K later tonight. Count, unfortunately you did, buddy. But just go to our YouTube later tonight, watch the first 50 laps. Cal Spicer in second has lost ground to the leader. He has pulled the gap on Bradley James, Clay Kirchenbauer, Vic Brown. Meanwhile, Vic is closing in on Clay and Bradley. Kirk Marble still holding on to 6th. Greg Wellen in 7th. Adam Rubel in 8th. Tyler on in 9th. And Gary Wright in 10th. Actually count South Carolina. Cody Burke, the leader, in a lot of lap traffic. Adam Rubel in 8th, the last car in the lead lap, just ahead of the leader. As we heard, Patrick Pieper ready to leave Darlington. I have a feeling a lot of drivers are ready to leave. Indy Kirchenbauer has been in and off of pit road a bunch of times. That car is back out. He is, however, back in 20th. Due to being in another race, he got in late, got here qualifying, only got a couple laps in, and has had a rough night ever since. Oh, trying to get past Ryan. Got a little bit squirrely there out of 2. Great save. Cody's lead continuing to grow, and it looks like with 10 to go, now 9 to go, only one more car. Adam Rubel ahead. And he's likely going to have clear track for quite a while. As long as it stays green, he has got this one wrapped up again with an 11.4 second lead. And with Clay Kirchenbauer slipping back into 5th, Cody is going to gain some ground. Someone else gaining ground tonight, Tyler Ott. Tyler came in tonight 6th in points. behind Mark Dantuma, but Dantuma out early. And folks, don't forget, more racing tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, as Home Motorsports is back on track. Immediately followed by the Unicorn leading the convoy. Chaos ahead. And the driver having the most fun right now, Indy Kirchenbauer, the only driver having just come off pit road on fresh tires. As he crosses the start-finish line, he'll get a big run. He can go much, much later into the turn. Drives it in deeper, able to pull it down to the bottom. But a little bit of fighting back. But it is fun being out there, the only car on fresh Goodyears. 5 laps to go for the Dominator. After a rough start to the season, he is back on fire. Bradley James runs in third, but Vic Brown right on his bumper. Vic comes into the night third in points. As he looks underneath. Oh, Bradley gets into the wall. Vic pulls up into third. Looks like Burke is going to pull over, let the two cars with fresh tires get on by and pull away. No sense battling with fresher tire cars that are several laps down. Cale Spicer in second, 11.5 seconds back. Vic in third is closing in on Cale, about 1.25 seconds back. 3 laps to go, likely not going to have enough time. Now 2 laps to go. Burke coming by, Adam Rubel to put him, no, that is not Adam. And looks like Indy has a problem as the white flag flies. One more time around for the Dominator. Had problems in qualifying, started back in 24th, has inched his way through the field, got to the front, took off, didn't look back. And comes through 3 and 4 with an 11.5 second lead. Cody the Dominator Burke wins at Darlington. Cale Spicer comes home in second, and Vic pulls off third. And I do believe that is Cody's second Darlington win this week. And let's see if we can get a word with our top 3 starting with Vic. Vic, congratulations, man. You definitely had an advantage on the long run.
Yeah, that tends to happen with me because I'm a little slower, so I can save a little more. So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun, especially racing with Clay and Bradley, and I was just content riding there, seeing what happened, and then the two tires kept coming. I was able to save a little bit there behind them, and man, that was fun.
Just now noticed you did pull a 2-tire strategy. We've seen that being used a little bit lately, and it really works in these cars.
Yeah, it seems to, if you get a good long run, just like last week, I was like, okay, I'm gonna remember that and give it a shot this week. And sure enough, here I am talking to you. So I'm happy with that.
Oh man, great job. A heck of a season so far, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug.
Cale Spicer comes home in second. Cale, you come home in second. A very, very quiet and consistent night for you.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Tough racetrack.
It definitely is. You led a lot of tonight. Pretty much the entire first half of this race was yours.
Yeah, something funny's going on there. When I was not pushing the car too hard, it was driving a lot better. And putting more tires on it, nothing seemed to help with that. It's a little better to be out front in that clean air, I guess.
Well, man, it definitely seems to help being out in clean air, but man, you still managed to hold on to second. It did look like on one of those pit stops, you went to take 4 tires. It almost looked like you had a glitch, and then suddenly your pit stop was like 40 seconds long.
Yeah, there was something wrong with the pit crew there. They said the driver had to get out and take a pee break, but we got her sorted out, car back on the track, got it straightened.
Oh man, it definitely paid off to take a break there. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, thank you.
And finally, our winner, Cody the Dominator Burke. Hey, thank you, Abraham. Cody, back in victory lane. Darlington really seems to favor you.
Yeah, it was a good race, but it was all about taking 2 tires there under a green flag. I don't know what it is about 2 tires, but it's better than 4.
That is definitely an odd thing. Vic said the same thing, that after taking 2 tires, the car just really kept coming to him.
Yeah, and it's roughly 8 to 9 seconds faster than 4, and you're never going to make up that difference in a full run. So just the car stays freer.
Well, it definitely seems to pay off for you, man. And I know we were talking about it recently that you've seen a lot of guys using 2 tires and it paid off. Obviously, did you practice on it?
No, never practiced, but I did go back and watch the replay of the last race and was kind of looking at lap times and stuff. So from now on, I'm taking 2 tires under every green flag pit stop.
Well, man, I hope it works for you. Definitely paid off tonight, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doug. We'll see you next week.
Cody the Dominator Burke back in victory lane with Clay Kirchmeier coming home in 5th. That gap is going to start to close. Folks, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern for Home Motorsports. Have a great night, y'all.